So if you've got an employee, it costs you about $100,000 a year, right? And you're charging them out. Now that equates to, if you divide 52 by 100 grand and then 38 hours a week, it's about $51 an hour. Now, if you're running a business, you've got to factor that charge at that time that the employee is doing work on a job. So even like these builders behind me here, right? They would be doing something very similar. Now, what I see with a lot of clients is they go, yeah, it's $51 plus super guarantee. But there are a few other considerations you need to think about. The next thing I would say that you need to really think about is how much of the time when they're working are they actually productive? So there might be downtime, whether they're a professional service where maybe they're catching up on admin, right? But that's not chargeable time. So it might be overall that they're 85% productive, which means 15% of the time they're not billable. So you think about that sort of stuff, and then you also think about, hey, on top of that, we don't work 52 hours in a year. There's also holiday leave you've got to think about. There's sick leave, there's public holidays. And also, the more senior a staff member becomes, you probably find that their productivity level goes down to around about maybe a little bit lower from 85 down to maybe down to 70%. So when you're factoring in how much you're going to charge your employee out for, you need to think about just not what you're paying them per hour and what it equates to, maybe that $51 I mentioned before, or the super guarantee. You need to gross it up. The easiest way to gross it up that I recommend is you take basically $51, multiply it by 1.25, so a 25% uplift factor, and that there will give you the right chargeable rate as a good starting base for you to charge your employee out. If you don't do that, if you don't factor that in, what's going to happen is your profit down the bottom there is going to get eroded. And there's so many other things to think about. Like, you got to think about if you have an employee, especially if you've got an apprentice. Apprentices, they are notorious for fucking things up. It's just what it is because they're learning. But they stuff one job up and there's no profit margin in it. You haven't allowed for all those other costs. Basically, you got them there and they're going to cost you money. The reason you have employees at the end of the day is because they make you money. They're there to make you a profit on top of everything you do. You're taking the risk, you got them there to make profit on top, right? You're buying their time to basically make a profit. So think about when you are looking at that hourly charge for a client, it needs to be more than just what you're actually paying them become week.